Chris Olave is making a statement for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Since the season began, Chris Olave has been a problem for any team he's lined up against. After the Saints gave up 5 picks to get into position to draft Chris Olave, many Saints fans were left questioning if the return would be good enough for what they gave up. Well, even with all of the pressure of his stock and the capital used to get him, Chris Olave has excelled. And an offense completely brand new, a coaching staff unfamiliar, and a rotating door of co-wide receivers and quarterbacks, Olave has still found a way to be a proven commodity every single week as a rookie. Let's talk about how Chris Olave is making his statement for Offensive Rookie of the Year. It all started in his first game against the Atlanta Falcons, his debut as an NFL wide receiver. With Michael Thomas returning and Jarvis Landry making his Saints debut, it was a little bit harder for the Rook to really find his footing. He had 3 receptions for 41 yards, with a nice reception of 20 yards being added to that stat line. He looked good, especially towards the end of the game, and had some key receptions to keep the Saints in this ballgame. A few missed deep throws from Jameis became a theme from here on out, but Olave was proving his worth and showing everyone it was easy as cake for him to get open. Flash forward a week to his second game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this is where you see him flash a little bit more. Olave has always been known as a deep threat, and he showed exactly why in this football game. Even though he only had 5 receptions for 80 yards, and I say only lightly because that's not a bad stat line, he was absolutely murdering Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean all game. He was killing them. He was constantly a step ahead, open the entirety of the game, but the throws just weren't being hit by Jameis Winston, and that's another issue that was likely caused by Jameis's injury. He had a big reception that turned into a fumble, but either way, he showed his guns here for the first time. Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis are so lucky those throws were inaccurate because they easily would have had 200 plus put up on their head, and I'm not kidding. I'm being so dead ass. Like, if you look at this footage, Chris Olave is open and open and open and open. He just needed the throws to hit. Getting more comfortable as the season's been progressing, Chris Olave absolutely exploded versus the Carolina Panthers in week 3 and was the sole reason the New Orleans Saints were even in this game. Hauling in 9 passes for 147 yards with along a 49, Olave averaged 16.3 yards per reception as he torched the Carolina Panthers secondary. This was the second straight game Olave led the Saints in receiving yards and targets. He absolutely balled out. Just time and time again, he was running free, getting open, and making the toughest of catches. This was Chris Olave's best display of football yet this season, and a sign of things to come. Week 4, Olave geared up for his first international football game against the Minnesota Vikings in London, and to this point, Olave did not have a touchdown, and God forbid he wanted to change that shit. Reeling in 4 receptions and 67 yards, Chris Olave managed to score his first NFL touchdown in Michael Thomas's absence. Olave continued to show that he's up for the challenge against anyone, not just lesser defensive backs, while the better ones have their eyes and hands full with Michael Thomas. Sure, that helps, but Olave can go toe-to-toe with anybody in this league. Even though we faced a tough loss there, Chris Olave continued to be one of the Saints' only bright spots heading into this game against Seattle on Sunday, and you know he wanted to win that shit. 4 receptions, 54 yards, and an insane touchdown grab later, the unthinkable happened to Olave. His game was cut short after suffering what looked to be a pretty nasty and scary head injury, and with how serious the NFL is taking concussion protocol after the whole Tua situation, it wasn't easy for Olave to get back into this game. He was ruled out and will wait to see his fate for the Bengals matchup. And Lord, you guys better pray he's okay for that shit, because with Michael Thomas coming back, Eli Apple will have sole responsibility of Chris Olave, and man oh man, is that a problem. Chris Olave currently leads all rookie wide receivers in the NFL in receiving yards through 5 weeks with 389. He has 2 touchdowns to go with that as well. And as far as the odds go, Chris Olave is at plus 500 and currently leads all offensive rookies on the betting sides of things. So if you're a betting man, Chris Olave for Offensive Rookie of the Year is not a bad spot to put your money. As far as proven NFL wide receivers go, Chris Olave currently has more receiving yards than notable wide receivers like DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, T. Higgins, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams. I could go on and on and on. Chris Olave is currently sitting at 11th in the league as a rookie, and if he recovers well from this injury, he has shown not a single sign of slowing down. Olave is great and will be an absolute hit for the Saints for years to come. It just seems to come naturally for Chris Olave, and we're all watching his Offensive Rookie of the Year campaign take place. Hopefully, he's able to recover well from whatever happened with his head injury on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks. It's always a scary injury, and you never want to see that no matter what team you're rooting for. You see any player take an injury like that, and it's absolutely gut-wrenching and heartbreaking. We're all hoping that Olave can bounce back, but man, he has been a phenomenal football player and a perfect addition for the New Orleans Saints to start this season. Let's all hope that he can keep this steam up and continue to prove himself as one of the league's best, even though he's brand new to this shit. I'm so happy that Olave has hit the way he has. A lot of people were super scared because we gave up a lot to get him. I won't deny that. We gave up an absolute boatload of shit to get Chris Olave, but man, it has looked to pay off. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about the rookie. I think it's kind of indisputable, man. He's one of the best. He's been playing absolutely amazing, and with a little bit better quarterback play from either Jameis Winston or Andy Dalton, it's looking like Chris Olave will have a really big season. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know down in the comment section below what you think. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I will see you boys in the next one. Adios. Chris Olave for Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Apologies. Book that shit.
Zero gravity falling. Like I'm jumping on a trampoline.
Why are you detaining? You got to go. Go jump. You got to go. Go jump. You go back to the Eat 'em.